Hello, my lovely crafty friends. Well, here we are today on day 17 on Junk Journal July UK, hosted by The Vintage Button and Be Happy Stationery. And today's prompt is nature. I love nature. My garden means almost as much to me, in fact, probably as much to me as my crafting. And the two combined just fill my days with joy and wonder at the just beautifulness of what we can create using our crafts and what God creates in his wonderful way in our gardens and the countryside around us. So I was quite excited about doing today's page. I have brought together a few bits and bobs. I'm possibly not going to use them all, but I've got a lovely book of garden poetry, and this is a garden song. And although it's written in quite old English, it's just beautiful. So I'm going to have that, definitely. I've got some cards that are just blank cards that I might pop in. I've got some images. This was taken out of the Garden Verse book. I quite like the simplicity and beauty of that one. And then I have an updated version of the good old Reader's Digest Gardener's Year, and this one has both photos and some beautiful illustrations that I think are possibly watercolour, so I might include some of those as well. But to create my page, I have used a scrapbook page that one of my friends gave me because it's got bees on it and I love bees so much. So I've cut one corner to cut out a tuck spot, just a raised bit and another, and I'm going to stick those down now. What I'm actually going to do is stick the pocket down first so that that's drying while we carry on. So I've got my Yoo-Hoo. I'm just going to do a thin line of glue around and just bring it up a corner a bit, just a little bit. I don't want to go all the way up that edge, but I did want to go up just a little bit. And then I'm just going to pop that in the corner. And then what I tend to do is I tend to put like a plastic pocket in the pocket, just so I can make sure the glue doesn't spread. And then I just pop that to one side, and we're just going to pop that over there to dry. And I've started stamping some bees that I'm going to cut out. I did a whole strip of them. I'm probably not going to use them all. And I've just stamped them with black ink, and then I've got this gold ink as well that I'm just going to stamp over the top of the bee. Just doesn't matter if it's not lined up. Some of them will line up better than others, but it just gives it that kind of shimmer and the colour. Yeah, just lifts it a bit. It's not just a plain black stamp. My garden is absolutely full of bees and butterflies at the moment. They're loving the mini alliums and the crocosmia and the salvias. They're just loving it all. So you can see it just gives it a little shimmer. And I'm just going to cut a few of these out, probably only 3. And I'm just going to kiss cut them so that you can still see the outline. I've spent most of today in the gardens. I'm recording this on Wednesday. Is it Wednesday today? Wednesday evening, but I will schedule it to upload in the morning. So you'll get it on the right day. But I've spent most of the day in the garden today, just clearing out the shed, evicting the mice from the shed. I have a little family of mice that like to live at the back of my shed, which sends my dog crazy because she's a terrier. And just sorting out my Monica cupboard under the stairs that had got so overwhelming. I couldn't actually get in there to access my wool and other craft materials that I've got in there, like bulky ones, my fabrics. So I've emptied both out, managed to get some of the storage into the shed, stuff that's not going to perish, stuff that the mice aren't going to eat, stuff that's in plastic tubs with lids. And yeah, so it's been a really productive day, and I just thought before I sit down and put Poldark on and lose myself in Poldark, I will just make this page. I've got a little bit of a busy day on tomorrow, so it'll be nice to just have this page uploaded and ready to go. I am going to be guest hosting on Junk Journal Fairies this Monday with the Monday Make. So keep an eye out for that video. And if you're not already in the Junk Journal Fairies group on Facebook, just have a look. I think a lot of the same people are in the Junk Journal community that are in the Junk Journal Fairies. And it's just another lovely, supportive community. And today I've really felt supported by the Junk Journal community chat. I shared something quite personal and have had nothing but love and support and suggestions that I can work around something. So that was really kind. It did kind of bring a tear to my eye, but a happy tear, to feel loved and supported like that. So thank you to those that have helped with that. So we've got this, and I did choose it purposely because it's got the bees. And I'm just going to move it up because I have a habit of dropping the bottom of the picture out at the bottom of the page. And I have just kiss cut some of the paper, but I'm not going to fit it flush like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my sticky pads. If you've been watching my videos, you'll realise I do love a sticky pad. And just to give it a little bit of a 3D element, as I've said previously, I think I'm going to have to take this book apart. I purposely didn't make a journal for this project because I knew I had this little square book in the drawer. I've got a whole drawer of notebooks that I need to use. And I thought, do you know, it's a great way. I counted the pages, made sure there was enough pages, and thought that would be a great way of using this one up. But it does mean, because I very rarely work flat, that all the 3D elements that I'm putting in are completely lifting it, and you'll see it's a bit of a gator now. So I am going to have to take it apart, and what I'll probably do is unwire it and then just rewire it with the same wire, but making it wider loops, and it'll probably just have one loop through each. And once I've done that, then it should being the operative word, should kind of just close, so it's a flat book. Ugh, they've stuck together. Right, I'll just put one in there. And then I'm going to do the same to this top corner. And all this is I just cut round the edge of the leftover bits of the paper and just cut out some of the detail to include on the page. So I'm just going to make sure they're stuck down. I am one of those people that at the end of every make, I clear my desk and I put everything back away, so that I start each make with a clear desk, and I won't go to bed on a messy desk either, because I like to get up in the morning and I grab my coffee, and one of the first things I do is come and sit at my desk and think about what I'm going to do for the day. I have one of those little weekly planner thingies, and you can see already my week's quite busy. that I write a list of jobs I've got to do for the day. What's left on today's job? Washing up, yeah, that can wait till the morning. It's only my washing up, so it's nothing too big. I did see a very funny post on Facebook today that said people who do housework and cleaning and shopping and chores just don't understand the needs of crafters. There's not enough hours in the day. I want to be crafting all day. I don't want to be cleaning. I do get a bit grumpy when I got to go to work because I'm like, but I want to stay and craft. But I do need to work. Work's good for my sanity, and I love my job. I love the people I work with. I love the fact that every day is different. I mean, it can be bonkers busy in the charity shop with donations, and we have a lot of tourists who come through, and there are big trade. But it's so rewarding, and you meet so many lovely people and hear so many people's stories. And it's just been amazing, actually, how many women of my age that I've chatted to, those of us that are going into that next half of the century, and how the menopause has changed their life. So many people who have left teaching or have left nursing as a result of menopause. And I don't ever think my parents' generation, my mum's generation, ever talked about it. I think it was just, you're going slightly mad. But yeah, but now it's so nice because we talk about it and we can share what it's doing to us and how it just cripples and completely changes your life. So I'm just sticking a couple of sticky pads on the back of some of these bees. I'm not going to stick too many in the middle there because I want to pop things in the pocket. And because it's a kind of a functioning journal, hopefully, I'd like to put things in that we could use at another time. So maybe some notebooks, a little bit of maybe some note paper, yeah, some bits and bobs that people could use or I could use at a later point. Might even get a few pages out of my dotted journal and make like a little mini nature checklist or something. I saw we had a lovely little book come into the charity shop yesterday that I popped on the shelf, which was a garden journal. And it was just like, it was like a little notebook that you could record what's happening in your garden week by week. And it was such a lovely thing. I have started, completely off topic, I have started, so this is a project I started at the beginning of the year. And it's a junk journal of my garden. And I will do a walkthrough of this journal and I will upload it. So it's just a walkthrough, but all the flowers in here are from my garden, and each page, there's just a taster. Each page has the flower, has a bit of artwork that I've done, has a little bit of information about the flower. Yeah, so I will do a walkthrough. I'll do that tonight and get that uploaded as well. So you might have already seen this before you come to see this page. So that is the page I'm going to leave it at. I'm not going to add, I might add, let's grab a gold pen. No, I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave, yeah, no, let's grab a gold pen. Just going to go round some of the detail just to bring it out. Just to add kind of a little bit more detail. And I did these are cool. These are like sparkly pens, and I did add that when I did my tags on Tuesday this morning before I did anything in the garden. I did a Mad Hatters hat tag. So again, if you're in Junk Journal Fairies, you'll be able to see that. If I remember, I will dig it out and just quickly flash it in front of the camera before we finish today. So you can see I'm just going round some of the flowers just to give it a little bit more sparkle, so it's not just a flat image. I mean, we have got the 3D element by using the sticky pads, but it just gives it a little bit more. And because it's quite a rough watercolory pad, I don't have to be perfect in my outlining, so if I do make a mistake, it's not gonna be too, it's not going to stand out. Let's just go over some of that gold there and bring it down. And use the, where's the sparkly yellow? I'm going to just use the sparkly yellow just to add in. I purposely printed these onto like a really pale yellow cream card so that it'll give it that yellow in the background. Just going to use the silver, just go over the wings a bit. It's quite a bluey silver, this one. It's quite nice. These are just out of the kids section at the range. They're Giotti Turbo Glitter, but they work like alcohol markers. They're really quite nice, and I have used them a bit like Poscas as well. They do cover quite well when I've used them to colour on top of wood and things. So they are quite nice. I'm just going to do some in the middle of the daisy. And some in the middle of this daisy, going round. Lovely. And then some in the middle of this daisy. And then this one might actually have a bit more colour. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to pop these in the pocket. I do like this image. So where did I put my poem? The poem that I had. I've put it somewhere. It's fallen into the black hole that is my art station, so I will find it and I will pop it inside. But I think I might stick that inside this card. That card might be a bit too big. Let's see what else I've got. Oh, nice tulip card, so I can stick the poem on the inside of that, so that can go in. I'll trim it down just to make it fit. So here's another one. So that's lavender, which, oh, my lavender's gone mad. I think it's really enjoyed the heat, being a drought resistant plant. See, that one fits perfectly. What else have I got in my nature drawer? Oh, these look lovely. So these were just taken out of a calendar actually, and they're notes and reminders for your garden. So and it just tells you what you should be doing in your garden each week. And it was going through, it was a calendar. Obviously, I have no idea which week it is. So let's just pick one or two of those to pop in as well. I am an absolute hoarder when it comes to things. So I think that's quite spring-like because it's got the hellebore and the primula, which are spring flowers. Again, that's spring because it's daffodils and anemones and pansies. This looks a bit more summer-like. No, that's probably spring as well. Now that, yeah, that's spring. Now the days are coming warmer. Aha! This one. There we go. This is kind of end of summertime because you've got the rose hips. Oh, look at those beautiful iris. They're beautiful. Continue staking tall plant structures, delphiniums. So that was the beginning of summer. I definitely had to stake my delphiniums. And I've got raspberries, I've got peas, I've got beets growing. And I would never walk around in a swimsuit. Nobody needs to see that. So I'm going to, I think, just take that one out maybe, and I'm going to create like a little mini, because I think if we can, yeah, let's do that. So I'm just going to see if we can't trim that to size. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit bigger. What have I done with the ruler? I think I have actually knocked the camera a couple of times, so I'm sorry if you're getting a bit seasick. I'm just getting excited about this page. Got so much, I'm just really loving it. So I did go and buy myself a new rotary cutter. This one's brilliant. It was, again, just in the range, just cheapy. And I'm actually just going to snip the tops off this, so that it can create almost a folio of things to do in the garden. Let's grab, oh, this is a nice one. So this is just an elastic, I think it was on a bracelet or something, and I just had bits and bobs lying around like that. And yes, it's going to completely not match the page, and it's going to completely stick out the top. But you don't quite like that. Where is it? Where is it? Where's the craft punch? I'm just going to make a quick tag. Ooh, where did I put it? I had some left over of that paper. Oh yeah, there's the poem. So the poem can just sit in the front. So I've got the poem there. So the poem's just going to sit in the front, and I'm just going to make a quick tag. That's the paper that's on the page, but I'm going to use the back side of it. Just going to chuck everything on the floor. I've got some really diddy hole punches, which are really cute. So it just really does a really tiny one. Let's have jobs to enjoy in my garden. Just do simple little flowers. Oh, threes. A little bee in the corner. And I think I've got a tiny bit of actual like sewing thread here. So I'm just going to thread that through the hole. Helps if you don't lick it so it doesn't stick. I licked it so it's now sticking to the other side of the tag. Oh. There's me saying every video, oh, it's going to be a quick one today because I've got everything ready in my head. And then, as with all true crafters, I completely go off on a tangent. Completely get distracted and do something completely different. There's been times with this challenge I'm like, why did I stick that background down last night? I want to change it, but I've just made it work. There we go. I'll just snip that off with some sharp. So they're my paper scissors, they're not all that sharp. Jobs to enjoy in my garden, a garden song poem, and into the pocket it goes. Yeah, it does stick out the top of the book, but you know what? I quite like that. So here is today's page, all finished, with a little edition of that lovely book. I've got loads of like the little pocket field guides, so I could put some more information and jobs and things in there as well. So as promised, just gonna grab my Alice. So today's mini make was a shaped gift tag, and I've made the Hatter's hat, and I just drew this on green cards, used my green. These ones are just from B&M, green marker, and you see they give a nice cover as well. And then what's the difference between a raven and a writing desk? If you know, please comment below, because it's doing my brain in. I might have to Google it. So thanks for watching. I will do my video next of my garden journal that I'm kind of halfway through, and I'll upload that tonight, and this will be uploaded tomorrow. Happy crafting!